15th after the fire. You're looking at right there, the house where the fire originated happened in their backyard. They were burning off some brush, and then it went up on the hill this way. And there's a house up on top of the hill that didn't apparently get touched. I'm gonna drone shoot this and show it later, but this is where it originated, was right there. That's where the Bryan Head fire originated. We're at that switchback road, so as you're coming to town and you make that hard switchback right, left, that's the road right here. There's the switchback. So if you're coming up to Bryan Head, it's just right there. Just FYI for us Bryan Head enthusiasts. The town of Bryan Head, I'll show you videos later, clear, no problems. You can't even tell in the town of Bryan Head. There's not one sign or smell, and the wind is coming from the north right now. You can't tell where the fire originated. So Bryan Head survived, thank God. July 16th, 2017, in Bryan Head. Fire was a month ago. And as you can see, the town is alive. I've gone through with my drone and filmed it. The whole resort, no fire whatsoever. Going down to Navajo, Apalanes, all down there, no fires. Just past this tree line, and this is my condo. I live in Southview Lodge. Just past this tree line, not far away, was the fire. I heard there was a spotter. At the time the fire was started, it was called by a 911 call. That 911 call, there was a pilot overhead flying and spotted the fire itself. He went onto the radio and called for a tanker. That's an aircraft that carries a slurry in Cedar, just 20 miles away. They launched it, and within 40 minutes of it starting, right over in this area where the fire started, within 40 minutes a plane was flying overhead and dropping slurry.
There's a cabin, and the cabin owner has a fire going. He's burning off shrub around his cabin. The fire is massive.
The person didn't know it at the time, but he was witnessing the start of what would be the 54,000 plus acre Bryan Head wildfire. He urged authorities to stop the man from burning.
I think a Bryan Head officer needs to go to this cabin immediately and talk to this landowner before he burns down Bryan Head.
Okay, so you said
It's seriously that serious.
Okay.
A second call came into dispatch, this one by the cabin owner, who was suspected of starting the fire. The Department of Public Safety says he admits
the fire is getting out of control.
the man says they're trying to fight the fire near Highway 143, but as you listen to the call, it's pretty apparent the blaze is too much to handle.
Need help.
Okay, I'm gonna get some help to you. Tell me exactly what is burning.
Fire after pine tree.
What size of area is burning?
It's a forest.
Well, how big is the fire right now?
It's big. It's like 50 feet by 50 feet. It's big. We need help.
Okay, I'm getting help to you.
The fire started near the town of Bryan Head.
Just to get bigger and bigger.
In 11 days, it spared the town but destroyed more than a dozen cabins between Bryan Head and Panguitch Lake. Hundreds of families remain evacuated, and an entire highway is still shut down. The wildfires have eaten up millions of dollars in resources as 1,600 people continue to fight to control it.
We've given up on it. There's nothing we can do.
Okay.
A resort up here. We had bark beetles here in 1993. Ron Wilson, right here, he's our manager now down in this area for State Land and Forestry. He tried with the Forest Service to go take those bark beetles out, to cut those trees, to stop the progression of bark beetles. He was stopped by, quote, the Friends of Dixie. Where are the Friends of Dixie now? There are people stopping off in Panguitch right now giving money at the courthouse for people that lost their home. Where's the Grand Canyon Trust? Where's the Southern Utah Wilderness Alliance? Where's the Friends of Dixie? They're not here when this disaster happens. And this is what you end up with. You end up with somebody's house, and that's the end of it. That's the story. I saw people up in Panguitch crying because their cabins were lost. One cabin had been there almost 70 years. They lost all their history, all the background that cabin burned down. Again, I thank these firefighters. This Type 2 team is first class in my mind. That initial strike team is first class. But when you get built up like this is what the fire guy said. 28 years on a fire. I've never seen a run like what happened here. 8 miles in one day. 16,000 acres of fire burned. Another 4 or 5 miles the next day. Fuels that burn a buildup like we have here. When you have 70 million board feet of timber being grown every single year, and you allow to harvest 6 million board feet, that's 66 million board feet of fire. When you allow trees to burn or to die for bark beetle and you build them up, you're going to get a catastrophic fire. So they haven't seen this in 28 years because we haven't done stupid stuff like this. When we turned the Forest Service over to the bird and bunny lovers and the tree huggers and the rock lickers, we turned our history over. And the fire is going to do more damage because we're going to lose our watershed, we're going to lose our soils, we're going to lose our wildlife, and we're going to lose our scenery. The very thing you people want to try to protect. It's just plain stupidity. Sorry I had to say that. I hope we get a national audience on this, because I think we got a president who can make a difference in this, and the Secretary of Interior and the Secretary of Agriculture. They're going to fix this problem. Thank you very much.
So I wanted to make it a point to document what occurred as far as the fire. I went around looking to find signs of where they actually dropped their fire retardant from the aircraft. And this is one of the locations on the edge of town. This is the most northern edge of town where there was fire retardant dropped. There was also an area close to this where there was a propane tank, and the fire went right up to the edge of it before the fire retardant caught it, and they got it out just in time before this big propane tank went out. Now I'm up on top of chair 5 of the ski resort for Brian Head, and I wanted to show you a bird's eye view of the resort so you have an idea what the resort looks like. Without knowing what the resort looks like, you're not going to know what to think about. So here's my documentary of sorts showing you the town. And as you can see out to the north, it's right to the edge of the town itself, but the ski resort itself did not sustain any damage whatsoever, thankfully. We got to give credit to the first responders, to the plane that was flying overhead that spotted it and called it in. Georgie from George's Ski Shop, he was the first one to call to get it on the records and to state, hey, this could be catastrophic and we need to do something right now. So thank you, Georgie. But you can see ski resort's fine, the town is fine. Again, all that credit goes to those first responders, all those helicopter pilots, as you saw a moment ago, the firefighters, the airplane pilots who were flying in. If you saw that, they would fly one plane in to track it and to draw a line of smoke, and then the next plane, the bigger one carrying the heavy load, would drop the slurry or the fire retardant down onto it. So now let me take you around and show you the edge of the town, the northern edge of the town itself. So I'm flying into what's called Steam Engine Meadows. This is an area that has the more affluent homes in the mountain. And from that edge, you can see right there, Bob's Hole. We snowmobile all around this area and play. There's the peak for Brian Head. Panning around the town to show you it's not touched. I'll get more detailed photos and videos of that to share with you as we continue on this video presentation. But here we are coming up to the town, or the area of Steam Engine. And you can see inside of here, it came right to it. If you were to drop a plot map down and show the boundary of the town of Brian Head itself, it looks like the fire breathed right on the edge of the town. So again, I don't know if I could say enough thanks to the teams that saved the town and all these homeowners from devastation. It made a big footprint. It definitely did make a big footprint. Again, there's the resort. We're panning around to show you the resort. There is the ski runs for Chair 5, 2, Mountain, the peak, the reservoir. There's looking into the town itself. Navajo ski runs. And then the fire starts. And it kept to the Highway 143 on the east side of it, which was good. Amazing that it didn't do more damage Again, I'm going to fly you around and just show you around. For those of us who are property owners up here, you can pick out your house and see it now and see that my home's in the very bottom left corner. That's how close it came to the actual town. It's right on the edge. And again, you can see the resort's alive. It's green. We need to take some proactive steps. Hopefully the legislature and the political machine will spool up in such a way that this can be cleaned out quickly. Now we're at the top of chair 2 and chair 7. Again, just to give those people who call this a home or a tourist destination, it still looks very attractive and beautiful. You're only going to notice it if you're flying high like I am. If you're down low on the earth, you're not going to see these blacked out areas in the distance. You won't see it all from the perspective of walking right below where the camera's filming. Now I'm flying back over towards chair 5. And I'm going to take you to another area. This is back down to where the fire originated, the switchback road. And I'll show you some details here in a minute, but there's a home right in the center of the camera to the top. It's got a copper roof. Wait till you see this. This is an upslope road. It's probably a good 60 degrees or 70 degrees upslope. The fire went all the way up there and breathed on that house. So this is the road coming into town. You'll see the sign that says "Welcome to Bryan Head." For those of us that are familiar, this is kind of giving you an idea of where the fire edge was. It was almost to this point. Then we'll come up and there's Thunder Mountain's shop, Cedar Breaks Lodge, the Grand Lodge right there, Navajos in the background to the right, the peak for Bryan Head to the left. And there's your edge of the town and the copper roof house. These folks have got to be, I guess, both sad and happy. They got to be sad their view has just gotten destroyed. I've been talking to firefighters when I was going through here, and they were saying these trees, their root system is now compromised. So anyone, please take note to this. If you're going to go play, walk around, rhino, recreate, camp, whatever in these areas, you got to be mindful that the systems of the root systems of these trees has been compromised. So this is the view above this house with the copper roof. Again, you can see how it went right up to the town line. That is the line of the town pretty much. And here's the copper roof house. And if you walk to the front of it, the top side of the screen where the fire breathed up onto it, it was right there. The front lumber is black. But be careful of these root systems as you're going through here. And again, I'm going to go back to that point where I hope that the political machine works in a way that's smart to get rid of and pull out these trees, because the trees are still salvageable for lumber. I'm being told that just the surface area of the bark has been burnt. So someone could mill this and take this lumber out and use it productively. But again, be mindful, these root systems are not strong. These trees can and will fall. And it's just want to be smart about it. But these folks, again, my heart goes out to them. Their view has just gotten changed from what they were used to enjoying. This is just different. And they were lucky. The firefighters must have been standing on the front yard of their house. There's a fire hydrant right there. They must have been hosing that down and calling planes in and doing whatever is possible to save that. And there's your switchback road for Bryan Head, just to kind of, again, give you that perspective of where you're at. So from here, the fire went northeast. You'll see Yankee Meadows in the background in a minute, and how it went back into that area and caused some damage back in that part of the valley, or the mountain area, I'm sorry. So I took my Rhino and I went around to different locations to get perspectives. My Rhino is basically a side-by-side. You'll see pictures of it later. Again, there's the peak for Bryan Head. And this is now showing you how it didn't char the entire forest. You'll see areas a lot of green. And the fire went right through here. Again, those helicopters and airplanes and firefighters did a phenomenal job of saving a good part of our forest on this side of the mountain. I haven't investigated or flown over Panguitch or towards that Duck Creek area. Next weekend I plan on shooting that from the air. But this is from this particular perspective of Bryan Head itself. And I'm panning it slowly so you can see this area. I'm over at an area called by Yankee Meadows or Thunder Ridge Campgrounds. This is where the Boy Scout camp is. I'm over kind of in that northern area of the area. There again is your peak for Bryan Head. Now I'm parked up at an area called Dark Hollow, and you can see just what I was fascinated by this shot is that you can see how there's so much green and so much charred all inside the same area. I found it kind of fascinating. There's like a little body of water here, so what was really moist helped to keep the fire out. And again, if I didn't share this perspective with most individuals, you would never see what the fire has done to the community. And I'm nestled down in a flat spot straight ahead down low. I'm going to fly in and show you where I'm at right now. I found this log cabin. I do a lot of snowmobiling in this terrain, and this log cabin is, I guess, been there for, who knows, 100 years or better. But I kind of find it fascinating that this is sitting out there and somewhat still standing. So I'm parked over here because when you're shooting with these drones, you don't want to have a glare on your screen, so I'm sitting in the shade, and I'm sitting here flying at a mile and a half away from me while I'm sitting here enjoying the shade. Now I've gone to another place. This is actually Dark Hollow. I'm on top of this little hill shooting out. There's areas right inside of here where I was at. There were spots where it's burned and spots where it's not. The underbrush right here had some fire, but they got that out. It didn't affect the upper part of it, and it was right on the edge of this. Kind of amazing to see the perspective of how far it traveled and the successes of the helicopter pilots and the fire teams. Look at all that lumber sitting there just ready to go. That didn't get burned, thankfully. So there's a big job ahead of us, and hopefully they get in here and get rid of this death of trees to where they can use it hopefully for something productive and profitable as opposed to just wasting it. But as I walked through areas like this, felt like I was walking into another world or another island or another country or a planet, just very unusual. Didn't have any of the similarities that I'm used to seeing or on those charred out areas. I walked through quite a few of those. And again, it's just fascinating. See these little spots that burnt? You could tell where the firefighters with the helicopters came in and dropped water to keep that from burning. And this is the spot I was parked at. I was just right here on top of this little hill. Well, I wanted to give you a perspective from what I noticed flying around Bryan Head. There was quite a bit. Quite a bit was charred. A friend of mine, Andrew, and I drove around with the Raptor and went around with the Rhino to check out what was burnt, what was not burnt. Went from high spots to low spots and all around the mountain to kind of get an idea, primarily for myself, because I've been coming to this mountain since 1973 as a young man in junior high school. I started coming here. I'm now 56. And I've really enjoyed this mountain, so I was nervous. I was having a party at my house when the fire started, and I was nervous that I was going to lose my home. Friends were showing me photos of the fire and how it started and where it went to. So, again, thanks that all of us, except for that one poor family, and again, prayers going to you, lost your home. I hope everyone else takes a note of this, and let's be smart about our forests and protect our mountains.